Today's funeral, Shahid funeral, or YPG soldier, was killed by ISIS and al-Nusra. The people will bring him here. They make a celebrity, you know, like a wedding. His bride is Kurdistan, is our land. He died for his honor, to protect his family. So they are proud of him because they protect these people. They protect by their blood, by their own body, this area to make the other people live in peace, you know.
So all the families here, all the tribes, they've grown up with martyrs in all the wars really the Kurds have fought in the past few decades against the Turks just over there. Now against the jihadists.
Maybe now if this war continues more than this, you will find people from Iran, from Turkey, from Kurdistan crossing the border. Doesn't matter for them. If they get shot by the soldier of the system there, they will come to here to protect.
We've been driving for hours through southeast Turkey now, and we're so close to the border you can actually see Syria. And between us and Syria, there's rows of checkpoints every few hundred metres, lines of barbed wire. This border's closed to foreigners. We've got an appointment with some smugglers who promise to take us across, hopefully not through a minefield. Northeast Syria is one of the most complex and underreported fronts in the entire Syrian war. Kurdish fighters affiliated with the PKK have used the disintegration of Syria to carve out an autonomous statelet in the country's northeast, Syria's Kurdish heartland, and Turkey's really not happy about it. In an effort to blockade the Kurdish areas, a region the Kurds call Rojava or Sunset, the Turkish government closed the border crossings to international trade, as well as to journalists. While Turkey offers free access to rebel-held areas of Syria, it doesn't want any journalists to enter Rojava, leaving us with no option but to cross the border illegally, dodging Turkish army patrols and risking arrest if caught. After a couple of hours of trekking across country, had a couple of close shaves with the Turkish army patrols going past us. We're in Syrian Kurdistan. We're off to the war. I'd come to meet Kovan Durej, a Kurdish activist from Aleppo now living as a refugee in northeast Syria. The regime had withdrawn from most of Rojava a year earlier. Kovan was keen to show me how the local Kurdish forces were capable of filling the security vacuum.
As you can see, the Asayish controlling this checkpoint. Asayish called the police. So these people, they are trying to protect this city. The women joining this 50-50, you know, as a man. Here there is no differences between Arabs or Kurds or Christian or something like that, you know.
What do the Arabs in Rojava think about the idea of Rojava?
There is two differences between Arabs because you had an original tribe who were here and you have 1963 Arabs regime bring them. They took land, the Kurdish land, and give them, you know. So there is differences, you know.
How did the fighting begin here in Rojava? I mean, it was peaceful, really, for the first...
Still peaceful, you know. Some people, they want to make it like ethnic war. They were kidnapping the Kurdish civilian who not involved with the YPG's force. And they want to make it like a Kurdish against the Arabs, and they couldn't do it. So this war, they want to control the oil field in the Rojava.
And these are all the jihadists?
Yes, all of them jihadists connecting to Al-Qaeda. Kesak perade deva?
No.
No.
Okay. How long has she been?
In this position, she's ready to kill herself for the people inside. Any minute, some bomb car, you know, come to here to explode. So, as you can see, she's ready to do everything.
Hayat was killed on duty a few weeks later. While predominantly Kurdish, Rojava is an ethnically mixed region of Syria, the significant Arab Muslim and the Syrian and Syriac Christian minorities. Syria's Arab Sunni majority mostly backed the revolution, while Christians in the rest of Syria, fearful of jihadist elements among the rebels, have increasingly thrown their weight behind the al-Ayn-led Assad regime. In Syrian Kurdistan, however, a fragile ethnic balance still exists. Christian parties and their militias are working with the dominant Kurdish PYD party to keep the jihadists out. But jihadist positions are only a few miles away from Derek. On the horizon, we pass plumes of smoke from oil wells set alight by retreating jihadist fighters. Syrian Kurdistan contains around 60% of Syria's oil reserves, a potential treasure trove for whoever controls it. The Kurds were keen to show me how well their new state could provide security for all its inhabitants. They'd invited me to meet the Assad militia preparing for their nightly patrols of the city. Let's come to this building. It's the centre for the Assad, the sort of local militia, the police force of volunteers. Hopefully we're going out on a patrol with them tonight, just securing the city, checking everything's okay in Derek. So we're going to go and patrol?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's go.
Let's do it. How long have you been doing this?
It's been 10 months, helping to keep my country, my city clean from all people who try to destroy our way of life.
It's almost like you're fighting a war to keep away the war.
Yeah.
So you don't become like the rest of Syria.
You know, understand, it's not about Kurdistan. Like I'm Christian, and I'm here fighting with the Kurdish people. We are here to stay. We will not allow those people to come here and ruin our life.
The jihadists, are they Syrians as well? Or?
There is Syrians between them. There is from all over the world, from Chechnya, from Sudan, from al-Saudi. They all come here and try to fight us. I don't know why. It's not even their land. They took my body and they cut off his head. When they deliver us the body, they put one head on the other body and the other head on the other body. I don't know why. Why would someone do that? They are terrorists. They think this way they will terrorize us.
Yeah.
But we are not afraid. I'm not afraid.
Sorry about your friend.
I'm sorry too.
The central front in this war was the disputed border city of Ras al-Ayn, which the Kurds called Serikaniye. A few miles outside the city, we were flagged down by a YPG checkpoint. Jihadist fighters had captured the next two villages ahead, cutting the road.
وآگر بردان مالا هناك مال شوط عندن وام بخوا آگر بردانی همو آگر خانی پیخست
تاكتن گوندی آری کاریا واکر چیکرن
گوندی آج هناك عرب آری کاریان کرن
هناك آری کاریا واکر چازان
يعني گوندیش برگو ودر هبو گوندی دور ده هبو شوان خوارن مدرمانی وان دیتن مثلا علاج وانی تداویه و بدرمان دروان کشتیوان ودرش چه بود يعني حاجز ده نزی کشتیوان چه بود يعني مالی خاص تاني سیحب ساغلم ما بود تاني سیکس ما بود حاجزك تجيبه تاني سيكس ما بو قلت ذاتا برداب الرافيان ما نقدر ما سولدريك ما اظن نقدر
تمام اوكي.
So they've got tanks and you're fighting with rifles, RPGs, even a homemade tank.
دبابي ما تشتكي درباس ناكن يعني بيجي نفشك وما تشتكي درباس ناكن.
They're crazy to drive something like that.
All along the Ras al-Ayn front, Kurdish and Arab villages sit side by side. These quiet farming communities were now the front line in the war between the YPG and their rebel enemies. We slept out here overnight. We were going to go to the front line at Serikaniye, it's about 10 kilometres down there. It's a border crossing with Turkey, it's a very strategic point. But between us and Serikaniye, there's an Arab populated village that started fighting against the Kurdish forces here, and that blocks our route.
كردان وعربا ما فرقی نخستی. من گو با عرب با کردان ما جوی زوجی نکرد چون کردی میش با هفدنه. به وقت سالم هبر رادم تبلیغتنه.
تركي دريا وكشف فكري ودي لا تقيه فكري حتى ديركي خاطر تركا تخاز ملتي كل فيها نمي خازي هر عراقي وهر تركي وكشف ملتي كل فيها نمي جبا كردستان ياسينا.
Those green fields over there, that's Turkey. Like, Turkey's so close. Both sides are fighting over the border crossing just a few kilometres down there. And that's what's brought the war to this tiny, sleepy village. We followed one of the fighters to the nearby village of Neda, the closest YPG position to Aluk. It was an eerie scene, driving through a landscape of deserted farmsteads and empty fields.
Just come. They brought tanks. They brought it and started to shell on the ground. Gaan geçtin kort çıkas mı tırnak kapama oldu hadi. Okay, shall we get out? Let's get out from here. Because of the tank, it's bombed here, and they threw everything outside. You see? Just from here, from here. Huh? Yes, maybe it is snipers.
Just past here, that's no man's land. That's the
Yes,
bit,
this is the red line.
Yeah.
The red line, yeah. Let's have a seat in the front line.
We went to meet the commander in this village who was watching TV in what, a few days before, had been a farmer's living room.
هردن يعني خب پرچاک سوری دبینن ملت سوری نه جو پرچاکرنا سوریا هیچ قبول نکن ام راسی کردستان که دموکرات نه پرچاکرن یعنی سوریا که دموکرات و حق هر کسی ده نال هبه یک کردا یک عربا یک هر کسی هر اول فلا بسلمان هر کس نال هبه جیان بکه و بهبره.
The enemy, do they fight well? Are they well trained?
نه او تکتیکان شهر زیده نینه اما بناوی گوی بمرن بچین جنته بر بیناوی ده شهر دکن.
یک سری علی
نجيب جيبي. أره.
وجه شغله خورد قلتين ده تبالي بقى. يقولون كيف شو جنتي.
Yeah, let's start.
We're just drinking tea, having cigarettes, and we heard a few rifle shots. The Kurdish fighters here, they think they've seen movement from the enemy side, just a few hundred metres away in the fields over there. So they're going to check out what's going on. It's what the war looks like here. It's small groups of men and villages, local men fighting each other.
We will stay here because they don't let us to go further from here for our own safety. Started.
What's that sound? Mortar?
Yes, mortar.
So they saw some movement from the enemy side, loosed off a few rounds at them, and now they're telling us to go away. They're expecting an assault from the jihadists over there. We're worried that they'll send some tanks towards us, so they're telling us to go. The jihadist forces began to mortar the village, and the YPG ordered us to leave. They said for our own safety. Frustratingly, the YPG tightly restrict foreign media access to the front lines, making it difficult to get a clear picture of the fighting. It was clear that jihadist fighters were still trying to push forward, probing deeper into YPG territory in an attempt to surround and besiege Ras al-Ayn. This stretch of quiet farmland was now the most active front in this almost unreported war. So we just ordered away from the frontline village when the enemy started mortaring us. The YPG fired back with Kalashnikovs, which is all they've got. So they basically told us they didn't want us there for our own safety and also, I think, for their own information security. So we pull back to this checkpoint. It's the nearest checkpoint to the front. These guys here are guarding the road. They've set up a Dushka heavy machine gun pointing down the road to prevent any enemy forces coming this way. So we'll see what happens.
دكتور شو؟ ها؟ بس السيارة ولا بدنا باسبور؟ كي؟ كي عصابان. سي؟ كله درباس.
وباور ذكر تجارة شر وصات شيء.
نعم. زمان قاعدين تجي نادي شيء. مجموعان 200 تجي.
جروب.
دولار. كنا دخيلين قش رادكن. راد مغراد موتور ما موتور تراكتور شيء راده بمال ما مال قشيت كنو. يراك. زاروك دبي بالوا برا بيرا قاعدين بالوا برا.
بكبر خدا.
سمرا أول شيء قاوي درخين.
تاش كور قرتي بيا.
جم جيش حر. جبهة النصر هو.
So this bayonet, and it's American, it even says on it, 9/11 we'll never forget. They captured it from the jihadists. Like everywhere else in Rojava, most of these fighters were local farmers. The YPG seemed to use local militias as the first line of defence in these isolated villages, with a mobile reserve of elite troops ready to respond to any incursions. While the YPG fighters were all locals, the Kurdish authorities were keen to impress upon us their belief that they were fighting an army of foreign volunteers. With the road to al-Ayn too dangerous to travel, we drove back to the regional capital of Qamishli. While the Kurds hold the city's outskirts, regime forces still control the city centre, evidence the rebels' claim of a tacit alliance between the two. We just drove through the regime-held area of central Qamishli. They still control maybe a block of the city centre and the border gate with Turkey. Rodi Khalil, the YPG's chief spokesman, wanted to show us evidence of foreign fighters in Rojava. So these are passports from dead foreign fighters. From Libya, Tunisia, Iraq.
Bahrain.
The YPG, the YPG, they see themselves as on the front line of a battle against global jihadism. So who are the enemy? Who are the YPG fighting?
نهانكا جبوي ما دجمن همي هزكي لشكري ايجو بخوازه درباسي باجاري كردا ببه جروبين لشكري ايجو نها تايبتي الجل YPG والهمبري جل كرد شردكن يك جي جبهة النصرية دولة إسلامية عراق وشام ايجو افانا حردو جيري خستن القاعدة نا جل كتايبين إسلامي ين راديكال ين جريداي وان هنا لجل واناجي هندك جروبين جريداي ارتشا آزاد شكناندنا إرادة جل كرد لتوی گوگ رژیم ده هرمین کرداد نمایه لیوانا دفج رژیم بردای بری خدانه گلی کرد خوازن هرمین کردی جاره کدی داگر بکن شر من هنگال هم بری وان گروپ.
Do you see yourself in the future, the YPG, working with the FSA against Nusra and Qaeda or not?
يعني يك دسريده امو جيش الحر ندج من يهبدونش خازتن. داليه مبدأ داليه اوي ده ل نهال گوری تشتین گوگ درد کهونا اورتی دشمنی هری مزن یجبو شورش سوری گروپین اسلامیان رادیکالین جبهة النصرة و دولتا عراقية وش نهان قاوجي هندك اوي خويا دبن گوگ ناوان دجي شر در بکر.
As soon as we left the interview, we ran into a vast funeral cortege for two fighters who'd been killed in battle with the jihadists. These funerals were now an everyday occurrence in Rojava. The city park had been converted into a martyr's cemetery. It was already almost full. We're at the funeral of two martyrs, two shaheeds, who were killed fighting the jihadists. It's a strange atmosphere. The family are obviously distraught, crying as their bodies being taken through the streets. But it's a celebratory atmosphere here as well. They're being celebrated as martyrs who died glorious deaths. By the standards of Aleppo or Idlib, this is a small war. But for the people of Kurdistan, it's a tragedy, and it's a war that affects every family here.
خشكاي بين سريت بحكمتك يخنج بحكمتك يخش أضعن فاهانين نش صالحي مريا أي قلي كرد خوينا ما يكا خوينا صور وزردنا مدنينا أم قرك تبدا رابن بيك دستي وبيك قوتني أم بردش من بسكنين بميراني بميراني وسري وخش والسلام عليكم.
all across Syria, like in every community, Alawites, Sunnis, Christians, Kurds, all sides, all sects are burying their dead, mourning their martyrs. I don't see how Syria can continue to exist or rebuild itself as the country it once was.
You're my friend. Many of them, you know. We pay a lot for this freedom. We pay a lot. I don't know what to say, but this is shame. My friend's father died. He's my friend, you know. That's his mom. I can't look at the face, you know. I don't know what to say, but you know, just imagine, you know, those people, they were farmers, you know. Sorry, man.
Turkey may have closed the border to journalists and aid organisations, but according to the YPG, it isn't closed to everyone. All the Yepige fighters we've met so far have said that Turkey is helping their enemies, helping the jihadists of Jabhat al-Nusra. And this Yepige fighter says he can show me where the Turks have cut the barbed wire separating Turkey and Syria, allowing the jihadists to filter in behind Yepige positions.
You see there, the wire, how high is it?
Yeah.
Here nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And for 4 kilometers in the same day that they fight in Alok, they took all of this away.
يعني قال لك إخباري شيء لا ورد هاتم خوي ملتي ورد بقولهن يعني جروبنا حاضرين الفردر باسكن سبول العلوق بزيفرن.
Human Rights Watch and the US government have since criticised the Turkish government's willingness to let jihadist groups cross the border unhindered and use Turkish territory as their main supply base. Al-Qaeda now controls all the open border crossings between Turkey and northern Syria. The rebel capture of Aluk and Jaffa threatened to place Ras al-Ayn under siege again by exposing the only road to the city to sniper and machine gun fire.
You have to go so fast.
Right. That side. So we're bombing it down the road basically. There's snipers with large caliber weapons sniping at all the vehicles going past down here. There's constant mortar and heavy machine gun fire. We're going as fast as we can until we get to the relative safety of the front line.
Get that.
The YPG had only recaptured Ras al-Ayn a couple of months earlier, after months of bitter fighting against both the relatively secular FSA and jihadist groups. With the city under threat once again, security was tight.
So
you control the whole city?
it's under our protection, everything.
Was it safe?
Hello from Taliban and Commander Mullah Omar. That Mullah Omar is the commander of Taliban. Yes.
So you think there are Afghans here fighting?
Yes. If you notice the land, it's destroyed because of shelling. Everything is destroyed here. Rocket came there and destroyed everything. You see, heavy clashes here happened too. This building.
What was that building?
It was the mall of the government, as they write down.
Right.
You see? They were Shishan al-Sham.
Chechens, sure.
Cheshan of Damascus.
al-Ayn sits on one of Syria's main border crossings with Turkey, which before the war had made it a prosperous city with a mixed population of Arabs, Kurds, Christians and others. Now the city was deserted. 9/10 of its population had fled after both sides fought to gain control of the vital supply route from Turkey.
Here is Christian area. The heaviest clashes happened here. Everyone, unfortunately, they are gone. Because of this, it's really disappointing to see something like that, you know, like a church.
What does it say?
Satubadun bi'iznillah. That means all of you will be killed by the God's will.
Almost all the city's Christians had now fled, many to Europe, leaving the Christian quarter eerily quiet. So we're hitching a lift to the front line with the YPG. I'm not sure exactly how far away the front line is from here. It looks like it's only a few hundred metres. Thank you. So this is the old border post. This is what the fighting's been about, really. You can still see the Syrian rebel flag painted over it. The rebels were in control of this place for quite a few months. The YPG only captured it back about 3 months ago, and they're still fighting over control of this strategic point. That building there, that is essentially the last building in YPG control.
The snipers, every movement of both sides, the snipers working.
She's a nice guy. Has she got a name?
Nabiha. Genjo.
Come on, Genju, let's go to the front.
Chawa? There is dead people there. There is two.
The goat's going to see what's going on. No, I don't think so.
Shit. Snipers.
درباز دکن زمان تنگ داری پاس بدیم چی درباز دکن زو جيش الحرب داری ملی درباز دکن وقتی جيش درباز تانک دچی سروانا جو حمایتی بکن زور بیج.
So you think that means there's going to be movement from the enemy side?
Yes.
So everyone here thinks that the Turks are helping the jihadists?
Yes.
Come on, Gatey.
Every movement, maybe we'll get snipers or the mortars or the tank.
So the YPG, that's fired a few shots at the enemy. They saw some movement on the enemy side of the line. And now everyone's waiting for the enemy to respond. Maybe with mortars, maybe with sniper fire.
See the wheat, please? The last store of the wheat there.
Oh, yes.
Between that and there is store, you know, this yellow store. There is space between them and the tank is there. You can see the head of the tank.
And on their side, I guess they've got a position exactly like this. With snipers looking this way.
Yes.
Waiting for movement here.
Yes.
Pretty close quarters stuff here. You know, it looks like World War I or something. Just these lines of trenches.
حبة دخان عرقة دخان تي إيش ما دكيم سرقوش تي سر تقول الله أكبر ما قلنا بومبا ضد كانوا يعني دوت نقل ما دكوش تنا بزور زوجي نادمرن حتى شيء ده دقة بيش دقة دي منو بوشة
It's crazy that Turkey just looks so normal, you know? Like right next door to this. You've got like cars driving past.
Get.
There's a guy digging in the garden.
Yeah, this is the soldier, Turkish soldier.
So this building, these people, this garden, that's Turkey. Behind there is a normal street. You can just see cars going past, normal life. Here is just separated by like a barbed wire fence is the front line of a very, very vicious war. It's absolutely mad.
هنها برسا كي شباب كان كرد انتف. فين كيف خوشن كرد الفيالينا. فين كيف خوشن. We are flying the Kurdish controlling this area. إن شاء الله أمي ورن جموا جارك دي هندبر بلو. Okay.
Just outside the city, women fighters of the YPJ, the female unit of the Kurdish forces, were stationed in the village facing jihadist forward positions. The Kurds claim that women make the best snipers. They say they have more patience.
برساوي إنه تشاوس الشرباني يبجي شردكن بجنب يبجي ده يعني جنب هفتيده صانع.
أنا زحمت بس بكي بس أنا ويا عاد يعني يبجي رجع يبجي رجع. بس بكي زحمت ويبجي حتى أقول على السلاح ورخدجي. بس يعني بو عاد يعني أنا مقارن هم بري حمد شديد ساكنة. هم يبجي هم يبجي. وقف بدون.
وش دربه هزك يا عسكري؟
يعني ممكن ها بيجي هبال برده جنار سربسته يا وقاعدة تكا من برده وبيجي مثلا ميناك كان بدنا بيجي جنيمة شرباب دين سرفات جدي يعني نورمال خانك أبشي هي.
By now, a YPG counterattack had retaken al-Ayn. They're planning to use it as a springboard to recapture all the lost countryside around the vital road to Ras al-Ayn. The YPG are launching an assault on a disputed village. We're heading down to have a look. You can hear just the crackle of heavy machine gun fire, rifle fire. This is al-Ayn. I mean, this has been the centre of the battle between the YPG and the jihadist forces for the past few days now. Even on Twitter, like, there's sort of a war of words that jihadists say they've got control of al-Ayn, the YPG say they've got control of al-Ayn. No one outside really knows for sure, but we're here, we're in al-Ayn. The YPG clearly have control of it, and they're launching an assault onto the next village along. It's quite an eerie feeling.
مرحبا شاوي تعرف قال حتى كهر هبالي ما انا عسكر
الفر بالسكينين ومشي هر الفرجيان الفر
تمام
We're in al-Ayn. I mean, for the past few days, it seemed like this mythical neverland of constant fighting. But as you can see, it looks like the YPG have liberated it, at least for now. Is it going here?
Yes, we're going.
Move quickly.
You hear that?
Yeah.
You hear that? Yes. You hear them?
Yeah.
We are really going to the real action.
Yeah.
Now it's action. You see the village is open between.
Yeah.
Just stay in cover. Okay.
After days, we got here.
Yes, finally. And I think all started soon.
So you think as soon as it gets dark, they're going to attack? They
attack. They clean that road.
This is the front of the front. There's a few hundred metres of open ground between this village and the village they're fighting. Still occupied by jihadist forces. When dusk falls, about an hour and a half, an hour, these guys are going to attack that village. They're hoping they can take it, like they took this village just yesterday or the day before. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Just before the battle started, the YPG commander in al-Ayn realised there were journalists hanging around. He wasn't pleased and he insisted we leave straight away.
Go ahead.
Was that a tank?
Tank.
We've come to the end of our time in Rojava now. We've left those trenches, it's about 100 metres behind us. It looks like the attack started, they made us go away. You can hear the heavy machine gun fire as they attack the jihadist positions. They're going to try and take that village today. They took this village just yesterday or the day before. The whole time we've been here, the YPG have been trying to take this place. Everyone we've met has given us a different reason for why they're fighting. The ordinary farmers we've met say they're fighting to defend their farms, defend their homes, their land, their families. Christians we've met say they're trying to preserve the Syria that used to be, a kind of place where people of all religions, languages, ethnicities mingled, coexisted together.
Even here in Rojava, a place that for the past 2 years, while the rest of the country's been torn apart, preserved a kind of peace. Now it's seeing this, constant fighting, every day new funerals, new martyrs. It's hard to see how this is going to end.